Hi there. I felt inspired to share a little bit of my journey. Now, I know these days when you have public figures and influencers and people that you look up to, you don't really know their past or what they've gone through to get to where they are. Either that, or you sort of create this scenario in your head that they've always had it easy and that that their life is just perfect and they live these perfect lives and had these perfect pasts with perfect families and relationships and everything. So, I guess for me, I always try and keep it real with you guys. I always try and share the good, the bad and the ugly, because that's life. But I guess what you guys probably don't realize from my childhood, a lot of the stuff that I went through. So, I'm 38 years old now. I'm a single mum, and I've been through, the last, I guess, 4 years have been the hardest of my life. But I've come through the other end of that now, and I feel the strongest I ever have, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But a lot of what we go through as children and in our teenage years also have an effect on how we are as adults, because that's when everything sort of, we're shown when we grow up, what we're shown is all we know and believe to be true. And it takes a long time to get around that and to change your core beliefs and to really start to see yourself in a different light. So, for me growing up, I came from a broken family. So my mum and dad broke up or separated when I was about 7 years old. So I don't really remember my parents being together. And yeah, I kind of do. I have memories of it. But it was, I was still only 7 years old when they broke up. And I went through a period of time there where my mum and I didn't really have a solid foundation for a home. So we moved in with her friend, and then we moved in with her mum, like my nana, and then mum got her own place finally. So there was a good couple of years there where I didn't have stability in my life. My mum was doing all that she could and everything. So there was a period there when I was, quite young, going through quite a lot of trauma. But no fault or detriment to my parents. Obviously, having gone through a breakup now myself, I know how hard and challenging those times can be on everyone involved, especially the children. So I guess for me growing up after that in my teenage years, I didn't really have a lot of self-worth. My mum was in a relationship with a man who was very, very controlling, and I didn't have a lot of self-worth. He really belittled me and made me feel like I wasn't good enough. I'm gonna get emotional. And I've had to work through a lot of that, and it's come up for me now is self-worth, self-belief, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not worthy of love, especially from men, because of this, it was a good 5 years of my life throughout my teenage years, so 13 to 18, I guess. Also in that time, I didn't look after myself very well. I mean, I was only a teenager, but you could say I was chubby, and chubby cheeks, and I wasn't really the prettiest girl in school, and I hung out in the popular group, if you want to call it that, in high school. But there were girls that used to get all the attention from the guys, and I used to feel second to them, and I didn't feel again, I didn't feel attractive. I didn't feel worthy of being liked or loved, and yeah, I guess it wasn't until I think I was about 18, 17, and I joined Les Mills and I started exercising and doing the group fitness classes. Actually, I was doing the group fitness classes from about 15. I remember going to the gym before school to do pump. They're funny. One of my girlfriends used to pick me up in her Mini and we would drive to the gym. That's so funny. And do a class and then go to school. But because I wasn't eating very healthy and there was I wasn't really focused on my health as such. It was just fun to go to the gym. It wasn't, I wasn't doing it for a purpose really. It was just, I guess it was fun, and it was an outlet for me. And I did enjoy, from my background of being sporty growing up, I did enjoy the gym element. So fitness, you know, growing up playing tennis and touch rugby and netball and dancing my whole life, I really loved group fitness. I loved Body Attack, and I loved Body Step, and I loved Body Pump, and I loved doing all the classes. So I started to get a little bit addicted to that. And then I got into the Crusader cheerleaders when I was 17 or 18, I think. So that's the Canterbury rugby team cheerleading squad. And, you know, we had practices twice a week, and I was at the gym every night after school, and I started to trim down. And, you know, I lost my puppy fat and really started to become, you know, someone that men would suddenly start to look at, and I didn't really know how to handle it because I was not used to that. And, you know, growing up, all I wanted to do was be noticed and fit in. And then all of a sudden it started happening, and I was like, oh, now what? Now what do I do? But, you know, the underlying core beliefs of you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you're not worthy of love, was still there. So I copped a lot of slack, I think, in my late teens from women, and that is because I felt like I couldn't be myself. I was scared of being myself because I didn't want them to think that I was trying to crack onto their partners or their husbands, or, you know, I went through a really, like, a period of my life where I wouldn't even show my legs, I wouldn't show my body, because I didn't want judgment from women. I didn't want it to be not liked. I didn't want to be hated from women who saw me as a threat, you know, and that's something that I still struggle with a little bit, not so much now, I reckon in the last couple of years, but it's kind of come with me the whole way through. So a lot of the time I hold back because I am a bright, bubbly person. I'm flirtatious, not just with men, but with women. Like, I really love people. I love, you know, like, I give people eye contact, I give people time, I give people energy, and a lot of people can't handle that, or they get threatened by that. And I dimmed my light for a long time because I was so afraid of not being liked and women judging me and thinking that I was a slut or trying to crack onto their, you know, their partners and stuff. So I held back my light, and I dimmed my light for a long time, and I wasn't able to be myself. So you can imagine, you know, this is years and years of suppressing who I am, and who I am deep down to the core is, talking about this stuff gets you really emotional. See, this is why you don't even know what your triggers are until, well, when you do know what your triggers are, you know, because your body reacts and you can't even control the emotions that come out. But I did suppress myself for a long period of time. Even in some of my relationships, I had to suppress who I was because my partner at the time, or my partners in the past, weren't able to match my my light, my energy, my passion, and so I had to suppress myself and hold myself back so that they could catch up, almost, you know. And it's a real shame because I was never trying to make anyone else feel like they weren't good enough or not worthy, or, you know, my whole passion and what I love to do is share my light and energy with people, especially people that I love. But some people that aren't ready to hear that, or aren't in a good space in their own lives, will feel threatened or not good enough or not worthy enough to be around that, and that can cause a lot of conflict and a lot of problems. So, you know, this is something that I still work through today. I have, but I have definitely in the last year, I mean, I've done so much work on myself in the last, you know, 2 years, through spiritual healing, you know, through kinesiology, Reiki, through mentorships, coaching, you know, so many emotional issues I've tried to work through, and self-belief and self-doubt. So, you know, when you do look at my images and you see this, you know, fit, healthy, strong woman, I want you to know where that's come from and how long it's taken me to get to that stage where I'm at today. Like, God, I still have moments of you know, like, self-doubt, and I still, you know, have insecurities. I'm a girl, I'm a normal girl, you know, but coming from my past and trying to work through everything that I've worked through to get to where I am today, it's been a massive journey. And this is why I'm a huge advocate of really working through your shit because if you don't, it stays with you, and you can't flourish and become who you're destined to be if you stay stuck in the past, suppressing who you're meant to be, holding on to anxiety, holding on to sadness, pain, stress. Like, you know, it's taken me a long time to forgive and love a lot of people that hurt me because the only way that I'm going to be able to move forward is through forgiveness. So no matter what I've gone through, you don't know what someone else is going through or been through. So, you know, to be able to stand back and show, you know, send them love and respect, and for their journey, their path, it gives you freedom to move forward. So I think in the last sort of 6 months, I've really come into my own, and I still, you know, like even sometimes I message my team and I'm like, can I really post this photo? Like, is that not showing too much skin? I feel like there's going to be women hating me for doing that, and they're like, oh my God, Justine, like if we looked like you, we would walk around the house naked, blah blah blah. And it makes me laugh so much, because I just don't see myself like that sometimes, and I still have those moments of like, shit, man, I don't want people to hate me. I don't want people to think that I'm throwing my body in their face and I'm using that, because that's not my intention at all. It's literally been a journey of self-discovery to get me to where I am today, you know, and I juggle a lot of stuff at the moment. I run a business, you know, I do have a team that help me, but, you know, and I'd be, you know, I'm so grateful for them. But I'm with Leo 90%, 95% of the time. One night a week is the only time that I'm not with him, and obviously he's in daycare 3 days a week and stuff. But it's hard to juggle everything, and sometimes I do feel like, you know, what the fuck have I done? How, you know, why am I in this situation when I'm 38? But I'm so grateful that I am, because I'm really stepping into my own space, my own body. And I believe I've got such a strong message, and I've got my strong core beliefs of, you know, setting yourself free, and being true to yourself. Like, I can't live not true to myself. I have to live true to myself. And, you know, when I coach my clients and everything through their body transformations, I have to stand true to my values. Otherwise, what good am I if I'm in an unhappy relationship, or if I'm not flourishing, if I'm not being myself, if I'm not being authentic? How can I coach these women to be that? You know, so for me, I feel like I've gone through, everything I've gone through has been for a reason. It's because I'm able to share this message with my clients and with, you know, the women that follow me, is that stay on your path and be true to yourself. And, you know, we've all got a past, we've all got a history, and we've all got shit, we've all been through shit in our lives. We've all had traumatic pasts, and horrible things happen to us, because life isn't easy all the time, yeah? But it's how you overcome and how you deal with that, and how you move forward from that. And one tool that really helps me right now is staying present. And it's a really hard thing to do. You know, I had to do a lot of work to forgive myself for my past, and a lot of work to not get anxious about my future, because at 38 I thought I'd have more kids. I thought I would be married still. I thought I'd be in a house with a picket fence. You know, like everyone's idea of happiness is marriage with children, and more children and husbands and families, and I don't have any of that. I don't have any family here in Australia. I don't have a husband anymore. I've got one child. So I feel like I've failed, but it's taken me a long time to realize that I haven't, that isn't a failure, that my perception of happiness is not staying in an unhappy marriage and having more children to create that life that wasn't destined for me at that time, because that's you know, that's sometimes I think it's sort of like we get locked into thinking that that's everyone's idea of happiness is marriage and children and houses, and you know, that's stressful stuff. Being married is stressful, having children is stressful, buying houses is stressful. So you can imagine, if you're not happy within yourself, if you're not filling your own cup up and are 100% happy within yourself, doing those things isn't going to make you happy in the end, in the long term. You know, being true to yourself and filling your own cup up and being 100% happy in your own skin and loving who you are. You know, I don't need someone else to love me. I would like someone else to love me, but I love myself, and I love my son, and he loves me. You know, like his unconditional love and kisses are just everything to me. And you know, that's been a massive journey for me to be able to say that. You know, I really have come to a space where I feel like that's where I'm at right now. So you know, I hope this is sort of resonating with you guys, and I'm not rambling. This is literally from the heart. This is no edits, no cuts, no thing. I've just blurted all of this stuff out because I just think it's important to share a message of, you know, what I've just spoken about. And you know, I hope that you're all on your own path and, you know, finding your own happiness and being true to yourselves, because it is an amazing journey when you get through the crap and keep dealing with it. And if you ever need any support, guidance, you know, with your health, fitness, wellness, whatever, please reach out to me, especially ladies. As you know, I'm an online coach, and I do, you know, coach women through their shit and help them transform not only their bodies but their mindset. So you know where I've come from now, and you know why I'm so passionate about what I do and sharing my message. And being strong doesn't mean just physically, it's emotionally and mentally as well, but it takes work, you know, and it takes support. I've invested so much time and energy and money into my own well-being, and it's not a waste of time or money. It's not. It's like the best thing you can invest in is you, no one else. You know, like we've got on this, like today we put everyone else's needs ahead of our own, but if we don't look after ourselves first, we're going to fall apart and we're going to be miserable, and that's not what anyone deserves. So yeah, much love to you all. Thanks for listening to my story, and as always, just shoot me a DM if you've got any questions regarding anything I've spoken about. But yeah, I just wanted to share my journey with you guys today. Mwah.